Howdy folks, Amos Sewn here. It's the 22nd of the 2nd, 2022. So I just thought I'd have a little bit of report. I normally report on Thursdays, but well, let's just see how we're going. Anyway,
Howdy, folks.
I'm just sorting out my other stream situation at the moment, and so that I can work out what the flip I'm doing. No, it's not working. Anyway, I'll get back to that later. But what I want to talk today about is things that are happening in the world. You've, if you've seen any of my recent videos, you know I've just come back from Canberra, and what a mighty old time I had down there. First night, nearly getting locked up, but that was as bad as it got. Went to there for a few days. There was a lot of really lovely people there. I saw a few people who had injuries from the previous Saturday. I saw a lady with bad burns on her hands and guys with half their face peeling away. Um, they looked like burns to me, and well, I can't confirm any of this, of course, but you'd have to go down there and find out for yourself. But something was boomed at those people on the day, and well, it ain't a good thing. That's what our government's doing to us, supposedly. Who really knows what's really happening in the world? But I'll tell you one thing that is happening somewhere over in Europe, Ukraine. Just saw a little report on the news the other day about, that's not what I wanted. Sorry, folks. Yes. Oh, yes. Mr. Putin. He signed a bit of paper that said that a couple of portions of Ukraine are now independent states. In other words, joining them. I wonder what the people on the ground think about that. And, well, as predictable, the United States and everyone else is up in arms about it. They're all whinging about it, but who knows what's really going on there? What's the real piece of the puzzle? Right, let me just move over to here for something I'm trying to do a bit of housekeeping. Because, as I've said, really no idea what I'm doing here, but I'll give it a go. So, I've got it. I've just renamed this video. I've named it wrong. I've gone 04, but it should be 06. Oh well, I'll fix that later. Anyway, let's get on to the some other issues. Anyway, there's got to be something else happening in the world. Let me just get the right mouse, and it's not working for me. Okay, what's happening in the ABC news site? I wonder. Same sort of thing? Oh, yes. Vladimir wants the world to go back to the time of empires. Yes, can't make this stuff up, guys. People in the press, they make it up, I think. It's, yeah. Oh, yes. Al Jazeera, Ukraine's, yeah, etc. City more in hell. Oh, Russia, again. It's all the same news at the moment, isn't it? But it's all a bit of a distraction, I think, mainly. Because what's really going on is what's happening here in Canberra every weekend and every day in between. People are amassing around our capital buildings. Same things happening in New Zealand, in the Beehive, I think it's Wellington, and it's all happening. And of course, in Canada, and so lots of things happening all over the states too, apparently. But you don't hear it in the mainstream media. I see a little bits and pieces here and there on alternative media, um, like yeah, anyway, drinks. New coffee cup. Got this from WPRPN, so World Podcast Pirate Radio Network. something like that. A guy called Jaffy. He lives in South Korea, I think, but he's originally from either Canada or the United States. I don't know. But he puts on a little radio show twice a week on Tuesdays and Fridays, I think. And I have watched it a couple of times. He's quite informative. He's just another one of the alternative media. And I've decided I don't really like that word alternative media. It's alternative media, right? How about, I've got a new idea. How would we call ourselves the new media? As many people have said, don't get angry at the media, just replace them. So, but alternative media, that sounds like it's not good enough. It's not the best. And well, let's face it, a lot of us are not very professional yet. Some of us are. Like, you look at some of the work David Icke does, Vinny Eastwood, he's quite professional, and there's a lot of other guys that do a good professional job. And I plan to make my job a bit more professional in time too, because I feel this might be worthwhile doing. If people, well, I'm getting plenty of views. Not many people are watching me live, but that's okay. You know, I'm not important. Yeah. And one thing I did, if for those of you that saw my report, not a report, it was a reading out of a letter that I wrote in 2007 called Letters to the Lizards. I won't go back into it now, but in that, I don't know if I referred to it, but back then they were talking about this NISARA legislation that was supposed to be put through on the 10th of September 2001. You know, they were a bit busy that day. And, well, it's in the news again. I think I've got it. If I can get this computer to work again. I've got something up about it here somewhere. Here we go. My mate DK was talking about this earlier today with Jaffe from Pirate Network. And it's Kisara News. Kisara and Nisara are sort of similar sort of things. I recommend you have a look at this site. It looks like quite interesting. It's well, this part's talking about financial services that like quantum computers and one thing I read in there is something about there's a quantum management type thing, like might be similar to the QMS here in Australia. That's all, but it's all run by computers. And that's one thing about computers. Like we all use computers, and well, but they're not about to strangle us just yet, are they? But who knows what a self-aware computer could do and would do. Yeah. As I think I said, you know, you may be assisting in its construction to the world leaders of this autonomous computer that can think for itself. Well, it'll probably find out that we're surplus to its needs. Possibly. Well, that's what happened in all the movies. As I say, you know, you get your truth in movies and your fiction on the news. Who said that? Well, many people. But anyway, about this Jessara and Nisara. I'm not going to go into it here now in details. I haven't studied it much myself, sort of thing, but it's along the same sort of lines. And as DK said last night on Pirate Radio News, it's like changing one new world order for another new world order. Take your pick. They're both going to be, who knows. But it's dangerous times, folks. And the world as we know it is changing. It's not going to be, well, I came back from Canberra because I've got to go to work and I've got things to do. And everyone's got things to do. But in time, that's not going to be the way things are going. People are going to be dying. People are going to be going a little crazy. I think we're in for an interesting time ahead. Yes. But wouldn't be dead for quids. What about you guys? Some people get scared and they I don't know, pack up and head for the hills. That's probably not a bad idea. But seeing this unfold and knowing, well, you know, there's a good chance it'll take many of our lives. And us on the alternative, new media, we'll probably be pretty much the first one on the chopping block. We just got to get to them first, put them on the chopping block. I'm not really into violence. I don't really believe that we should be killing people, but they are killing us. They are. And like, I heard a dreadful story today about a friend of mine went to Canberra. He was there on the weekend before I was there, a couple of weeks ago. The weekend where apparently the radar machines, what are they? Microwaves, sound. It's a sound sort of machine that can burn you. Well, a little story that he related to him that time was this lovely old lady. She was a grandmother from Adelaide, I think. That doesn't really matter. But he asked her, "Why are you here, madam?" And that's what I did when I did my walk and talks. Why are you here? This lady had a horrible story. Her daughter took her 3 grandchildren to get the thing. 2 of them passed away within an hour or so of the procedure, and like that turned my guts. And this is only one little story that I heard today about what happened weeks ago. And as with all stories, I don't know the veracity of it, but I don't doubt it. And the thing is, stories like that probably happen a lot. You'll never hear it in the mainstream media. Well, not yet. Things may change for the better soon. We might be winning. All these protests and things like that, the government narrative is starting to change here and there. We just need to put more pressure on. We need more of us to go to our seats of power, where our respective countries like Canada, States, New Zealand and here, and everywhere else in the world, if anyone else in the world is hearing me, get to your parliament houses. Let them know we are watching and we are coming for you. Well, maybe. Who knows? Sounds very dramatic though, doesn't it? But we need to sort this out, because we can't have governments willy-nilly just destroying our freedoms all over. But look at what Dan's done down in Victoria. I was talking earlier on a podcast on the DK Conspiracies platform, and this lady was saying that she was from Victoria and she was in Canberra, and she said there's a lot of people down in Canberra at the moment, and a lot of them are from Victoria. Well, I can confirm that. I was there most of last week. I arrived on Monday and I left on Saturday night. And yes, I met a lot of good, lovely people, a lot of them from Victoria. And there's a lovely couple of couples I met at Yass they were from West Australia. And I just turned up at this parking area. There's no one else there except for these couples, and they weren't knowingly part of anything. But then they telling me their story. They're both in their 60s, sort of thing, and they're retired, and they've come on a road trip from Perth or West Australia somewhere, and they might not be able to get back in. They might not be able to get back into their own state because they haven't been, that's ridiculous. How can people stop you from going to your own home because you won't take a medical procedure? It's just not right, is it? Not right at all. Anyway, excuse me. Good coffee. If you believe that, you'll believe anything. Anyway, where was I? Yes, get to your country's capitals or do whatever you can to stop this march into the abyss. That sounds good, doesn't it? March into the abyss. The abyss of what? Well, I've seen some good movies that sort of show the world crumbling apart. Look, there's a new one of the movies at the moment where the moon crashes into the planet, and well, that'd have to be pretty bad for you. Give you a bad hair day, wouldn't it? Yes. Anyway, it's time to go, folks. I've waffled on enough for a little while now. This is 6th edition, Amos Sewn. Trying not to get banned, but who knows? We'll see what happens, won't we? Hey, you all have a lovely day, a lovely life. Be good to yourselves, and do not comply. Thank you, and good night.